what I was talking about, which deserves way more attention than
it sure does.
This
whatever it is,
reheated beef is disgusting, bro. No, this is interesting. I played the hardest card game I think I've ever played in my life. And that is a video game, card game, I should say.
Okay.
There's a game that came out called Death Howl. I don't know if you heard of it.
I have not.
It is a very beautiful indie style pixel art walk around, and you are a spirit who is basically like, it seems like,
I got such a preview code for this.
Yeah, it looks like you're
I have heard of it.
It looks, yeah, I think it's pretty new, and or at least it's been around for a couple months, and you are a spirit of a mother who's seeking your child who is being taken into the afterlife, is basically the intro.
Yes.
And you're chasing after them.
I would like to apologize to Death Howl because I got sent a preview code and I was like, this art looks great, and then I loaded it up and it showed a card at the bottom of the screen, and I turned it off and uninstalled it and erased it from my mind.
Wow. Okay, so you did take a look for a second. All right. So I kept going because I was curious based on the visuals and the fact that, I do enjoy a good deck builder, and I do enjoy some turn-based and grid-based tactics and all the things. I enjoy me some Slay the Spire, and I enjoy me some Enter the Breach, all these things I've talked about, etc. So this game is basically doing all of that in one, and you walk around, and when you get into a fight, it becomes an isometric tactics grid, and then you get a deck of cards at the bottom of the screen, and you have to beat the enemies. And it is fucking insane how brutal this thing gets. Like, it's so wild in that it's basically, what I can tell what I'm walking into is a game for people who are extremely familiar with deck builders, extremely comfortable, and looking for a challenge, right? It does feel like this ain't for your first rodeo or your second or third. I
was just talking with Paige about this in the car, and I'm like, you can't tell people to die anymore because that's like too rude, right? We're past that part of the internet. But the word perish has taken its spot.
Then perish.
Because perish is non-directed. It's like, I guess you'll just perish. And what I hear from you describing this as somebody who you've played a bunch of card games, and if you're describing it as psycho brutal, then the game to you is saying perish.
Yeah, and it's got some like particular kryptonite for me, but it's got some for you as well. And it's interesting to bring this up in the context of the game design, because what they're going for is what I feel like what they're going for is actually not the overuse of the term, but the actual Souls-like, you're thrown into a pit and it's insanely hard, figure your way out and survive, right? But the way the game works is, when you walk into an enemy, and then the fight starts, and there's like 3 or 4 enemies on the board, and you have like 5 pips of 5 action points, as you would in, say, Slay the Spire. And cards have different costs, right? However, every step you take on the board costs an action point. Unless you have a particular card that moves you for the cost of 1. You want to walk 3 spaces, you're losing 3 of your 5 points.
Okay.
And then you only have 2 points to spend on all your cards, which cost anywhere from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, etc. And your good cards usually cost 2 or 3 in some cases.
Movement also costs?
Movement also costs. So your ability to do things in the game is extremely limited. This game is called Death Howl, again. Once you manage to fight something and take it on, whatever you hit, you'll do whatever damage. let's say low single digits, Ernest, you do a couple hits here and there. If you do like 4 damage to something, that's considered holy shit. That's a ton, right?
Okay.
You have
low numbers.
Yeah.
Low baby numbers. Got it.
You have 20 HP total, personally.
Right.
When they hit you back, they hit you for like 6.
Oh.
When you take poison, you get poisoned, and you can also get like double damage status dropped on you by basic enemies, and suddenly that 1 damage of poison turns into 4 damage per turn that you're taking. Okay. Once you beat the fight, each time you kill an enemy, it gives you a kind of soul currency. The damage you take doesn't heal. You continue moving across the map, and you do not heal until you make it through more fights, till you get to your bonfire, quote unquote. Once you get to your bonfire, you can unlock it's a fast travel point you can go to, but you can heal up and turn your soul currency into things that add like skills to your character. But that same currency is also used to buy new cards.
This seems a lot.
So if you want to heal, you cannot make new cards.
But
Okay.
I want.
Okay.
This feels like Souls games and their progeny, I guess you would call it. They have like a really simple set of rules, which is hard, maybe even unfair encounters with full resets.
Mm-hmm.
And like the goal of long-term progression.
The most mistakes you can make are in that fight.
Now you're describing that like it pulls resources that you may or may not have gotten just to get your full reset.
Exactly. Furthermore, most of the time you're working your way over to, like, let's say a side quest or a main path, you're gonna fight small group, big group at the end. And the big group with the harder enemies that can do 10 damage to you and basically 2-shot you, you're fighting that at the end of the gauntlet you've done, hoping that your 20 hit points can make it all the way to and take out the big group. Right? And then again, once you unlock that fast travel point, you can go back to them. However, if you pick up a side quest item, a side quest begins and you can no longer quick teleport or fast travel. You must slowly walk your way through everything. Okay.
No, this is a roguelike, right?
Yes. No, it's not. It's not a roguelike.
It's not. Okay, because Jigo Kuro in the chat was like, well, I don't understand. Slay the Spire does this because with camps where you get to either, buff or heal up. And I'm like, yeah, but Slay the Spire is a roguelike, which you're supposed to die 80-90% of the time. This is like a continuous like journey, right? There's like a proper single player game where you go level 1, level 2, level 3, area here, area there.
Yeah, it's really interesting in how they're going about this, and it's nuts. Woolie, why didn't you just say game is bad and move on? Because we're a podcast,
because that's
and we're
not
having a conversation, and I don't just think game is bad, but I want it, because there's parts of the difficulty that I admire and like, and there's parts of it that I find insane and ridiculous. And by getting into the conversation about it, we'll have content and discuss something interesting about video games.
That is the shittiest fucking sentiment possible.
You see, because video games are interesting to talk about, and I think that there's something here worth discussing.
I'm going to talk about something that sucks ass in a couple of minutes, and I have like an hour in my gut to talk about it because it's interesting.
So, right. So you cannot fast travel anymore once you pick up a side quest card and begin a side quest, which puts you on a gauntlet. It's crazy, right? The challenge has never been higher, and essentially when you die and you get spit back out to before the fight, your resources, your corpse run is that the soul currency that I'm talking about gets dropped on the board, and you have to go back and win the fight to get it, right?
Okay. All right, that's normal.
That's so that's there. And or if you but while it's on the board, you have to go pick it up, or every turn it ticks down until it goes away. So
That's a Lords of the Fallen mechanic.
oh yes,
Nobody liked it. Nobody liked that.
Your corpse is slowly deteriorating if you don't get to it fast enough. Yes. So the corpse is slowly deteriorating over turns. Furthermore, if an enemy goes on top of the corpse, it powers up.
Yeah.
And eats it like Bloodborne. And now the enemy has it and is harder to fight. Okay. So all this is established, and this is your baseline. This is what the difficulty of the game is doing. Needless to say that you start out and you make a left, you make a right, and there are enemies you cannot defeat right around you in the first starting area, right?
Got it.
And
very typical.
I'm kind of like, okay, come back later is the idea here. And you do get a little bit more powerful, and you come back later and you're still getting absolutely curb stomped, because at no point does that HP of 20 points ever go higher, and things are still hitting you for more. I'm not seeing that level up occur, right?
You're just becoming a more perfect player.
You are getting more efficient at it, and you are spending those soul currency points to buy new cards, and those new cards are better. But, and this is a huge thing now, with all this difficulty in place, I find it absurd and kind of obscene in places and nuts to be that brutal about things. But there's a lot of games I love that are all about the challenge, and if you know the genre and you're walking in going, yeah, like, fuck my shit up, fam, all of this makes sense, you know? What is crazy is that the actual path it sets you out on gives you 20 cards, and you have, how do I put this? The deck it gives you to start with is a losing deck that cannot win.
Oh, well, that's thematic, but also,
but like, if you keep playing and just buying cards and adding it to your deck as well, you will not be able to win, because it is too many cards and there's too many bad cards, and you will not get your good attack cards often enough to be able to survive. So the thing the tutorial gives you, there's no tutorial, but the thing that it introduces you with is incompatible with succeeding.
Well, I gotta tell you, you saying you're given a losing deck and then following it up with the thing the tutorial gives you, no, wait, there's no tutorial, is like this whole conversation in fucking isolation. That sounds so brutal.
So after like staring at this and going, well, hold on, what do you actually want from me, game? Because I hit the point of like going, this is insane, etc., all these layers, and after a point I was like, wait, hold on, what do you actually want here, right? And so it turns out that like the way to actually play that the game doesn't explain to you is that you have to start removing cards from your deck. You have to learn to delete the cards from your rotation to get better stuff more frequently. You want about 15 cards, which is the minimum, and you basically want the minimum amount almost at all times to even have a shot at surviving. And the way that it sets you off down the wrong path is double nefarious, in addition to everything I've just said, because some of the cards they give you are like block cards, which are, you'd think about using them the way Slay the Spire block works, but it's worthless, because the block cards give you like 1 or 2 points of block. In many cases you're getting hit for numbers way above that, so that entire defensive mechanic of like trying to block the damage, you'll never block full incoming damage, and you're dedicating 5 or 4 of your 20 card deck towards cards that just do this. So it gives
just mitigate a tiny amount.
It gives you a failing mechanic as part of a deck that's too big to begin with, and shoves you off and says go, and puts all those things in place. It's batshit. It's the craziest thing. I can't believe it's this difficult and this insane.
You know, there's something that I learned a while ago. There was a phrase that became popular in FF14, and ever since I learned it, I've discovered it's actually like true of almost every game I've ever played, which is the best mitigation is more damage.
Yeah.
The enemy can't hurt you if they're fucking dead.
Yes. And so the way I started succeeding and getting further into the game is by always carrying the minimum amount of cards making sure that some of those cards exhaust so that I can get an even smaller rotation in the fight, and doing, just big number, and that's it. Also, you have to, I mean, it goes without saying, but you have to position yourself you have to know what the enemy's attack patterns are and know what all their attacks are and how to position to move around them, etc. You can't just walk up, wing it, and hope for the best. And then even if you're playing moving properly, because like I said, moving costs money, costs resources that you then can't play your best cards around. You still might get RNG'd out. You still might get fucked on with that, you know? So it really is like, I'm looking at it as like I like the parts of this that are, well, besides the beautiful art style and the so far the story and
yeah,
world
it's
are
very
really
striking.
Very cool.
It kind of looks like I wish what Nidhogg turned into.
Sure, I can see that. Yep, that art style expanding into itself
instead of never making a sequel.
I like the idea of like some of the, you know, obviously the not hand holding games can be hard and present you with hard challenges that you've got to come and smash your head up against. But the idea of like, it's not just the undead asylum, it's also like giving you the wrong equipment that's going to make you, it's making you encumbered. It's not just Undead Asylum, it's Undead Asylum, plus you have heavy shit on, which makes you, with bad defense, and when you roll, you can't roll properly, but you don't know that you're supposed to take your shit off. And it sends you into the fight, and you can't move or do anything, and you're not blocking any damage, really, because anytime you hold up that shitty shield, all that damage gets taken, and you can only fat roll. And the game was like, yeah, actually, you were supposed to take it all off and play naked. Idiot.
And you know what, man? The guy who just got every achievement in Slay the Spire 2 and is sick of his 1000th and 20th run of Caves of Cud hears this description and goes, yeah!
Must be, you know? But that's kind of the bit, is like the stuff where it actively gives you like bad things is where I'm like, this is too much. This is madness, you know? Furthermore, I'll just get a side note. There's some controller problems as well. Like, if you play with a mouse, you're fine, but on a controller, it doesn't select the UI properly. Pathing is bad, which is really annoying, because there'll be a trap. You'll have traps on the board sometimes, and you'll be like, I'm going to step around this, and then it's like, nope, the auto pathing says you have to go on it. Like, but I can use the same number of moves to avoid it, and it's like, nope. Right? So the shit that you're just like, this is actively annoying and hostile. There are things you could pick up that are like rings, to continue the Souls analogy here, but those rings will be a really good benefit, but the condition is it adds more cards to your deck.
No, I hate it.
Which then makes the whole thing pointless.
That condition better be pretty fucking great.
It wasn't. It's not. So far, the 2-3 that I've picked up that do that, it's never been worth it. Yeah,
fucking sick.
Yeah, I'm blown away by, as each of these new things get introduced, how actively hostile this game can be towards the player. And if you are a deck building aficionado, if you're fucking living and breathing that world,
if you are strong,
you might be able to run this and parse it and be like, I want to suffer, hit it in my veins as hard as possible.
It seems like, from what I can tell, I was looking over the Steam reviews, for the people that fit that mold, like, this game is great. Like, the top Steam review on this game's page is like, hey, you have to absolutely adore deck builders and grid-based strategy games, and be good at both.
And you must be a master of both, because you don't have the resources to move efficiently. Or if you have, like, a lot of the time, just playing it straightforward, you will be like, your thoughts are, let me walk up to that thing and hit it. And you spend the points to walk up to the thing, then you only have enough points left to swing once and hit it for a little bit of damage, and then you can't move to safety, so then you just die, you know? Yes, it really is. And I will say that, like, it also is a game without perfect information, so you don't know where the enemy is going to move in advance, so you can't plan around that in a puzzle-like way either, you know? Yeah. Oh, and there's other little wrinkles to it these are more interesting quirks of the system, but it's the world is split into these different areas, but every area has its own nature deck that is associated to the area, and then you have
Okay.
colorless cards that are permanently with you. And if you choose to make like cards from the area, then you can get like benefits to playing the same card in its zone, but it's more expensive if you play it in different areas, you know? So
Oh, that's
little fun things like that that are
incredibly complicated.
yeah, it's a cool idea, but like of course, again, you in the hunt for synergies, which is the only way to survive, like you basically have to like sacrifice a lot of your options, you know? And what I ended up doing is, because I kept playing and I started to figure it out, and then I'm like, okay, cool, I see what's going on here. And it does scratch the itch that I have when things are going well, but god damn it. And it does also feel like the start of the game is going to probably be the hardest, because as you get better cards, let's see how the enemies and stuff ramp up on you. But you know, what I kind of ended up doing was like, okay, I had a deck where with the bare minimum, my first attack was cheap and it would push enemies away, and then my second attack was ranged, and then I would just spend my last points to move out of the way of attacking. Or there's certain cards where if you choose to discard them on purpose, because a lot of your attacks also will say discard 2 cards in your hand.
Yeah.
So if you have like 3 attacks, you're not going to get to do 3. You're going to do 1 good one and 2 are going to get discarded. But you can put stuff in your hand where you get a benefit for discarding. So it'll draw a new card, or it'll give you 1 point of shield or something like that. So there is a rhyme and reason and rhythm to it here, but it of course explains nothing. And if you want to go hammer nails into your foot virtually, but you're down,
Maybe I do,
but you might be down for it. It's cool.
See,
but it's
I'm
nuts.
glad to here's where I'm at. I'm glad to hammer nails into my foot all day if the hammer and the nails are consistent and don't change shape. That's where I'm at. Right? I threw myself into the grinder on Mr. Radon for like a full evening because it was the same thing every time, and I could learn how to handle that hammer.
But this run, you don't have the same weapon, and you don't have the same spells, and your shit's changing as you go.
That's too much.
Hope the RNG is in your favor. Hope RNG is
I've
on your
beat
side.
like Enter the Gungeon like 10 times, and that shit can get really hard, but like your personal strength can also scale to infinity in a game like that. Same with the enemy forces. You don't seem to be describing a game that can like fucking scale your own power to infinity.
Yeah. Again, knowledge adds a good bit, and like upgrading your character to certain ways. Like one upgrade I got after putting a bunch of those excess points in, which you might never do if you want to build new cards. If you build up enough if you build up enough excess points and put them into the skill tree, one of the things is when you kill an enemy, you get one of its moves as a card you can play.
Oh, that's cool.
And then that might help you survive the fight if it's got a really good card on its hand. Like there's this one owl that basically just like stares at you and does 10 points of damage and kill it. But you know, you get one really good move for one really good turn. It's gonna be gone in this turn if you don't have the points for it, by the way. You know. Yeah. So Death's Howl is the name of it, and it is definitely a masterclass in this is hard to insane good mixed with this is hard to insane bad. And it's both. It's making me feel both things, and I haven't quit it yet, but I want to see as I go further in which of the two is gonna come out on top. I might stop. I might stop. I don't know.